Welcome back. The voice bill to enable the referendum has passed the Senate. We are standing by to hear from ministers and the members of the referendum working group who've paved the way for this legislation. Joining me now is Managing Director of the Gidgee Group, a 100% Indigenous-owned business, Sean Gordon, and a member of the working group. Sean, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate you coming on. You were watching as that overwhelming majority vote was passed in the Senate. There was a round of applause at the end from the yes side. When you saw that go through, can you describe how it felt for you to see that?
Oh, look, Kenny, first I just say that I felt very excited and quite relieved, to be honest with you. I'd be very glad to see this process out of Parliament and allow us now to go out and have the conversation with the Australian people. This has been stuck in Parliament for quite some time. We've been going through this process since the PM's announcements at Garma last year. And so now to get it out of the hands of the politicians, to get it through the Parliament, and to be able to just go out and have the conversation with the Australian people, I'm really looking forward to that.
Would you say it's a relief?
Oh, look, massive relief. That this is, this phase of the process is over. To be able to then go into the campaign, have respectful conversations. Senator Malandiri McCarthy was absolutely spot on. We need to be able to have respectful conversations on both the right and left. We need to remember as a country that, whether the referendum succeeds or fails, we've still got to be able to move forward as a country. And that's important. So to do that, we have to have respectful conversations and ensure that we're not creating more harm than need be.
Well, as you say, it's now in the hands of the people. A Minister for Indigenous Australians, Linda Burney, says she has confidence in the Australian people, despite recent polling suggesting the yes vote is below 50%. Do you share that optimism right now?
Absolutely. Unfortunately for the Australian people, it has been stuck in the parliamentary process. So we've only really been hearing from the politicians on this. And so for me to now have it out of the Parliament, for us to be able to go out and have genuine conversations around now that we know what the amendment is, we know what the question is, we can go out and have those conversations with the Australian public. And that's what I think is important. And I'm really looking forward to the next couple of months in being able to do that.
Are you concerned about the spreading of misinformation leading up to the referendum? And how does the yes side counteract that?
Look, I think it's important for us to put the right information out there. And there is enough information out there that addresses the misinformation that is being put forward. This process, I've got to remind people that are potentially sitting in the no camp that this process started with John Howard in 2007. And it continued on for 9 years that the coalition government were in government. The coalition were in government. They set up processes and structures to allow for more consultation to happen throughout those 9 years. And so to now, to throw out that this voice is going to be something that it isn't, is disappointing, but also quite concerning, because it was a process that started with John Howard as Prime Minister in 2007 in his Act of Recognition speech.
If Australians do vote yes late this year in the referendum, is the next step, in your view, a treaty?
Well, I want to go through this process one step at a time. I'm sitting up right now in a little community on an island just off Arnhem Land, the Milingimbi community. This community are really focused on trying to improve educational outcomes for their community. They want to get better educational outcomes, but at the same time, they want their culture, their language valued within the education system. And so as I sit in this community, the voice will be most beneficial to these little communities who are thriving to get better outcomes and better results. They're past the Close the Gap reports. They actually want solutions, and they believe they have solutions in their communities. They just want the powers that be to be able to sit down, hear their concerns, hear their solutions, and be able to move forward